Phantom. I want the Phantom more than anything else. I want the Phantom.
I want a Phantom.
Definitely a Phantom.
Big, beefy, war-fighting machine.
The Phantom jet fighter was a legendary symbol of the Cold War and one of the finest designs of its era. The British government bought 185 of them during that time, but the last ones were retired in 1992. Most of the British Phantoms ended their days like this. A select few served as gate guardians, displayed at the entrance to Royal Air Force bases. Two of the famous fighters from the RAF Lookers base in Scotland were put up for sale. This is the story of how a determined band of volunteers brought one of them to Northern Ireland.
They accepted our bid, and we got it.
The first Phantoms in service flew from 1960 with the United States Navy. Powerful, very fast and rugged, the Phantom saw extensive action in the Vietnam War. British versions, Phantoms modified with Rolls-Royce engines, entered Royal Navy service in 1968 and with the Royal Air Force in 1969. Air crew were generally happy with their new mounts.
My name is Tony Bagnall. I was the base commander, the station commander here at Royal Air Force Lookers in 1998 and 99. And I have got about 800 flying hours on the Phantom, and I've enjoyed every day of them. You had a guy in the back, which for me was quite a revelation, learning to come to terms with having a navigator and learning the benefits that a navigator could bring.
My name's Matt Patterson. I flew Phantoms at Lookers here for 6 years. I have 1,100 hours in the Phantom backseat. My main duty was to operate the radar and provide a picture for the pilot to action. The radar was, as I remember, a sort of a TV set that you pulled out from between your legs. Well, that was a pulse Doppler radar, which at the time was very advanced. It was able to pick up moving targets and distinguish between targets at very low level.
So you worked as a team, and I have to say there have been occasions when I was flying and fighting this aircraft that the navigator was the guy who put me in the position to take the killing shot. I think of all the aircraft I've flown, the one that I felt really comfortable with, really at home with, was the Phantom. I loved it.
This is the Phantom which we bought, XT-864. It first served on an aircraft carrier, the Ark Royal, before transferring to the Royal Air Force. It was retired in 1989 to the front gate at Lookers.
It's got my name on the side of it. That was one of the great perks that I had when I left here as the station commander.
The former RAF base at Lookers. With the prospect of some serious work here, we've staged a little preview of the plans to carry our Phantom from Scotland.
How do we get this aircraft back? It's going to be two major pieces, the fuselage and the main plane. The aircraft that we bought doesn't have any engines and we can't fly it back. We're going to dismantle it and we're going to road it and ship it to Maze Longcash.
Very few British Phantoms had a chance like this at survival. The last ones flew in 1992. By that time, most of the aircraft had faced a brutal end.
I'm sad. I feel so sad. When you look at these fuselages piled on top of one another, the noses cut off, the tails cut off, why couldn't one of those aircraft have been donated to museums that wanted them?
Our Phantom, of course, has escaped that fate. It's January 2015, and our team's heading for RAF Lookers to dismantle it over the next few months. 200 and some miles by ferry and road. They've loaned us a big hangar, and that'll be our crew's workshop.
We have to take off all the small bits, the missiles, the Gatling gun, all of which have been rendered safe, wheels, tail plane, and that all has to be transported back to Northern Ireland.
I'm going to set the big box on now. Yeah. Just so you know.
1, 2, 3.
Through the late winter of 2015 and into the spring, more trips to Lookers. The crew will work now on the wing and the fuselage and separate the two.
Whenever we're looking at the wing and the fuselage attachment, it's not straightforward. There are flanges, there are all sorts of things riveted and bolted. When we're working at the leading edges, yes, there is a problem. A lot of the bolts are pretty well corroded. There's 5 or 6 layers of paint over them, and it's an absolute nightmare. That's the wire out, so any time now. And there we go. Wings off. Well done, guys, well done. The guys that are going over each and every time, they're spending 4 days there, and we're all getting a little bit tired, so we're giving the wings a little bit of a rest at the moment, and we're also planning on exactly what we need to do to get the wings onto that trailer.
It's clear the 5-ton wing, spanning 38 feet, will pose a problem, whether carried flat or on its edge. We'll go back to the model on our planning table.
It's not going to work.
No, definitely not.
Even with the wingtips folded, it's still going to be too wide.
The answer, gentlemen, is going to have to be
An angle.
an angle. The wingtips come off.
Yep.
Wingtips off. We're still
Still a substantial
overhang.
I think we're definitely going to have to take the flaps off there.
Flaps off as well. Alright, that's beginning to look.
A bit more feasible, yes?
Yes. I can tell you, the real thing isn't going to be this easy. I have a feeling it's going to be a bit of a problem.
Ray Burrows is right. The Phantom's large wingtips and flaps are secured by long rods within so-called piano hinges. But efforts to remove them are proving to be difficult.
I don't think we've come across this before, so we're scratching our heads and thinking, how are we going to get this done? It is a hammer. It's not something you'd see about the workshop in an everyday practice.
And now for the fuselage. way, it's returning home. Between 1968 and 1978, a much larger group of Phantom fixers was active in Northern Ireland.
There was around about 800 people employed at Aldergrove. Came from all parts of the province.
Joe Davison was an airframe fitter with 23 Maintenance Unit, 23 MU, which serviced and upgraded most of the RAF and Royal Navy Phantoms.
It was a great atmosphere. The work was interesting and got a lot of satisfaction out of it, especially working in the Phantom. But it was very easy to work on and easy to understand. It makes me feel it'd be great to be working on it again, because it's such a great aircraft.
Some 40 years later, a Phantom, at least a major part of it, is back again. That fits neatly into our society's mandate to preserve another aspect of our aviation heritage. Nearby, at our planning table, the next step, the challenge of the Phantom wing. How will it get here, and will it even fit on the road? Under bridges and through big doors?
We're going to have to design and build a frame or trestle to hold the wing on the trailer. What about this door? That's going to be tight.
It is tight, but until we worked it out, it's just going to be the height, so we've got to get the angle okay.
David Jackson's the man to see it through. It's November 2015 and the transport trestle is nearly complete. Angles and steel shadows. A work of art, fit for a wing. The last work session at Lucas. Inside, preparing the wing. Outside, assembling the trestle components. The fellas seem to know what they're doing, but it's time for a break.
The wing's not exactly the same shape as we thought it was, so it's going to be a bit of trial and error, but at the end of the day, we're going to succeed.
Back to work, and the wing takes to the air again before snuggling into its travel nest. Well, almost.
Did we get some of these back ones now? That's the problem.
The problem is that the two supports for the inner centre section of the wing are just a little bit too far out, so we're needing to cut a couple of inches off either end of that, and that'll give us a little bit of leeway with setting the wing down.
Problem solved, and time to celebrate again.
It went absolutely swimming. A few minor hiccups, but it went as planned, and I'm absolutely over the moon.
Good. The job's finally done, and it's off to Northern Ireland to join the Phantom fuselage in the collection of the Ulster Aviation Society.
You're all right at the top.
Coming down.
Within days, the mating of wing and fuselage is complete. The remaining bits and pieces are being attached in the days to come. Meanwhile, a well-deserved sense of satisfaction.
Absolutely fantastic. Couldn't have wished for better. I've lost a few nights' sleep over it, and to see it all go together so smoothly is just absolutely a dream.
it's unlikely we'll ever again hear the roar of this historic aircraft in the skies over Northern Ireland. But our own Phantom will serve as a silent testament to the dedicated workers who serviced it here during the years of the Cold War. And it's a testament as well to our volunteers who worked so hard to bring this legendary fighter to its final home.